Hi everyone, we're going to continue on with Waiting for the Magic here. Show the cover again. Picture of William, his sister, and then you can see Biddy the dog up here. This one's Neo. This one's Grace. This one's Bryn. And then Lula the cat is right there. Eleanor and William. Chapter 14. Papa wrote and wrote during the next month. The dogs clattered up and down the stairs, spending mornings with him. "The dogs are my muse," said Papa. "What's a muse?" asked Eleanor. "My inspiration," said Papa. "I write better when they are here." "The dogs are up here all the time," Eleanor complained. She had on her new preschool clothes, a plaid dress with tights, and Velcro sneakers. Tomorrow was the beginning of preschool. My school began in a week. "They're here every single day," she said in a whiny voice. "Neo, whining is not lovely." "I like whining," said Eleanor. "Biddy, beware of the whining fairy." "Who is that?" asked Eleanor. "Biddy, she comes in the night when you're sleeping and spits in your face. Spit, spit, spit." Eleanor's eyes grew wide. Papa and I burst out laughing, and Eleanor laughed too. "That's why you're my muse, Biddy," said Papa. "I want a muse," said Eleanor. "You don't need a muse, sweet girl," said Papa. "Now, go away so I can write about the whining fairy who spits in your face while you sleep." We went downstairs laughing. Marvelous Murphy came, bringing alternative foods, as my grandfather called them, mysterious casseroles with what looked like ferns and zinnias in them. "You shouldn't be cooking, dearie," she said. "Oh, I hardly cook at all," said Mama. "Joe is the master cook here." "He's making noodles and maple syrup tonight," said Eleanor. "Oh no, that doesn't sound healthy," said Marvelous, swishing around the kitchen. "Hello, charming dog," she said. Neo, "Hello, you charmingly wacky woman." Eleanor and I laughed because we knew Mama and Marvelous didn't hear him. They smiled at our laughing anyway. "And when is this baby arriving?" asked Marvelous. "Whenever he chooses to arrive," said Mama. Suddenly I felt cold. I felt afraid for Mama. "What's wrong, William?" said Mama. I shrugged, afraid to speak, and Marvelous saved me from answering by bustling noisily around the kitchen, brewing what Papa called her weed tea. "I've written a poem for little Joseph," said Marvelous. She whipped out a paper and leaned against the kitchen counter. "Who's little Joseph?" I asked. "The baby," said Marvelous. "He'll probably be named after his father." "Oh no," said Eleanor. "His name will be Weenie Watson." Marvelous, for the first time in her life, was silent. Her mouth stayed open. Neo, if I could, I would laugh. Grace, "That's the hardest thing about being a dog." Biddy, "Except for not being able to open cans of dog food." It was quiet in the kitchen then, Mama smiling at Eleanor, and Marvelous unable to speak. Bryn said it. Bryn, peaceful. Chapter 15. We loved the noodles and maple syrup for dinner. Eleanor made a salad all on her own of ripped lettuce, some small pieces, some huge, baby carrots she hadn't cut because she was too young for a knife, cherry tomatoes, and something else. "What's this?" I asked. "Popcorn," said Eleanor. "Quite good, Eleanor," said Mama. "I thought I smelled popping corn." "Surprisingly good," said Papa. Bryn, "Sounds good to me." Grace, "And me." Papa leaned over and picked a piece of paper off the floor. He held it up for Mama to see. "That is the beginning of Marvelous's poem to little Joseph," she said. "Who is little Joseph?" said Papa. "Weenie," said Eleanor. Papa read it. "Oh, dear little Joseph, sweet and pink and round." "Sounds like a plum," said Papa. Bryn, "Or a candied apple." Grace, "What do you know about candied apples?" Bryn, "I ate one off a sidewalk once." Grace walked over to Papa and took the paper out of his hands. She dropped it in the wastebasket. "Thank you, Grace," Mama said. "Thank you." Grace, "My pleasure. It is bad writing." We all smiled, but only Mama thought we were smiling at her. And then all the lazy days were over. The nights grew a little colder. Soon it would be fall. Eleanor went off to preschool all dressed up. Max and I went to 5th grade to find out we had the same teacher as we did in 4th grade. That made us happy. Miss Braden was smart, and she could shoot baskets at recess time better than any of us. She never missed a free throw. Papa went back to his classes at the college. That left Mama home with the dogs. I know they watched her. I know they kept her company. I know Bryn took snaps with her, gracefully stretched out on the bed beside Mama. Still, I worried. Maybe worry was not the word. I was afraid about Mama going to the hospital. I came home from school each day afraid she might have gone. First I would see Biddy watching out the front window, sometimes jumping up and down when he saw me. Neil met me at the door, nosing my hand. I'd find Grace, Bryn, and Mama, the three females, keeping watch together in the kitchen, waiting. Since Papa taught classes during the day, he wrote at night. The splash of lamplight falling down the wooden stairs. Sometimes I could hear the soft clicking of the computer keys. Sometimes I'd walk quietly up the stairs, and the dogs, lying on the oriental rug, would turn their heads to look at me. It was like I had 4 sisters, Eleanor, Bryn, Grace, and Lula, 2 brothers, Neo and Biddy, with another to come.